Hello everybody and welcome to TradeStation's Market Review. My name's Simon Clarke from Trade with Precision, and I'll be discussing a general review of some of the most interesting markets and trends that I'm interested in right now. Now, the first market I want to take a look at here is the mini Dow future. And last week we were looking at sort of possible support levels underneath the market that had been tested many times before. We were looking at sort of 17,700 and 17,500. In fact, what's happened is that the market did come back down to 17,700. It's found support here, and now on the daily chart we've now put in a lower high, or a second lower high I should say. So now we've got still the monthly chart looking very bullish, the weekly chart looking very bullish, although here on the weekly the market's right back here to the sort of 20 period moving average, which is, if we sort of observe from sort of history, is often an area where the market sort of finds support, and more buying momentum tends to come in. Now, coming back down to the daily, we can see that the daily is in a downtrend here. We've got lower highs. We've just put in another lower high this week, but the market's come back down to 17,700 again. So here on the daily chart, I just think sort of 17,700, the level below that we were talking about last week, around sort of 17,500, nice key levels of, or decision points I should say, in the market, that the market needs to break these levels in order for these support levels, in order for the market to continue lower. Now, we also looked at the NQ, which is the mini Nasdaq future. And the mini Nasdaq was looking a little bit different, but it actually had this other key level here, which was 44.75 that we spoke about. So again, monthly, weekly looking very bullish. The weekly coming right back into that sort of 20 period moving average. Last week the market had just pulled back to 44.75. In actual fact, if we come to the 4-hour time frame, the levels that we were looking at last week was back here at 44.75. We're looking at, if this got a break, then we could probably get a move down to this next support and resistance structure, which was around sort of 44.20. We can see that the market did that. It broke that level and came straight the way down here. And just like the mini Dow, the market's now moved up. It's now made a lower high. But more interestingly, we're right back at that decision point right now. So I think we've got here on the Nasdaq, the mini Nasdaq future, and also the mini Dow future at sort of key decision points, very close to those potential support levels there on the markets. The other one that I was looking at was crude oil. Now, crude oil last week was looking a little bit more indecisive. We had the monthly chart in a downtrend, we had the weekly chart in an uptrend, and the daily chart in, well, no trend, but it was coming close to some nice sort of technical levels, particularly this sort of 59 level, which had been tested many times before. So if we sort of zoom into this, we can see what's actually happened over the past week. The market did actually sort of come back to 59 again. We broke underneath it. In actual fact, it's made a higher low. It's then moved back higher and now made a very slightly higher high again. So now we've got a higher low, a higher high. Again, the daily chart is in a technical uptrend, but it's certainly not a very sort of clear it's not a very clear trend with nice geometry at this moment in time. But in actual fact, the market started to come back towards 59 again. We know how many times the 59 level has been tested. It's been very precisely tested on the 4-hour chart many times, and at the moment we're looking for, well, if this uptrend is going to continue in line with the weekly trend, then we need to find a higher low at some point in time. Maybe we can get a, maybe that 59 area sort of offers us some opportunities around here for that higher low. If we come to the 4-hour chart, we can just see here on the 4-hour chart the levels here of 57, 59, well, around sort of 61 here. They've been tested many times, and the market seems to be sort of trading sort of trending sort of quite nicely in between them at this moment in time. So knowing that 59 has been tested many times before, potentially it could be a key decision point if the market sort of comes back down to this level. So for me here on crude oil, I'm still looking at sort of intraday trading opportunities in between those levels on the 4-hour chart. Let's take a look at some other opportunities here. Now, last week I mentioned euro yen, and particularly around the 139 level. In fact, what the market's done is I was looking for sort of pullbacks to 139. The market came back to 139. At the moment we're sort of broken underneath it. Market's still on these higher time frames, still looking very bullish, but again we're coming right back up to this sort of key level. Here on the daily chart, still looking very nice, long, but the market, in order for this market to continue long, we've got to break 139 again, and that's going to be quite a bullish sign if the market can do that. So just coming down to the 4-hour chart again, we can see here on the 4-hour chart, if I zoom in, we can see how many times 139 has been support in the market. It's also now being resistance in the market too. So a break above 139 indicates good strong bullish momentum, and maybe we could start to be looking for the next level of support and resistance structures that we can see, which is certainly going to be up here towards these highs up here around the sort of 141 level. Okay, the last market I want to take a look at here is platinum. Now, platinum has been in a nice downtrend across many time frames, and now we've got sort of trend confirmation across all of these higher time frames and lower time frames as well. So as a trend following trader, I like to identify these markets to look for opportunities on some of these lower time frames to take advantage of these trends. So if we just take a quick look at these higher time frames, we can see that here on platinum 1.4 thousand has been a big sort of key level on this market for many years. It's been resistance, it's been support. That's now broken, and we've now got a nice move to the short side. If we come down to the weekly chart again, we can see here our 1.4 has been broken. There's been other levels in here, down here to just around the 1.2, where the market's found support, later found resistance as the market's broken that and the trend has continued. Same story here on the daily chart. Again, very nice sort of downtrend. The recent move though, we've come back and retested this level here that the market's tested and found on the daily chart. It's 1120, where we can see that the market found support here many times, also found resistance here, and now sold off. So I'm looking down here on these lower time frames. If I come down to the 4-hour time frame, we can see here 1120, markets found resistance here, sold off. It's a little bit overextended here, certainly today, off the moving averages. So what I'm looking for again is just pullbacks into the moving averages, looking for opportunities to trade these sort of types of markets and these strong trends to the short side. Okay, let me just tell you about the webinar that we've got running this week. If we come across to the TradeStation International website, come across to the webinars tab, we can find more information about the webinar programs that we have running here. This week we've got Trend Trading the Momentum Edge. This webinar's on Wednesday evening from 7:30 till 8:30, just for an hour. We're going to be taking a look at trend trading opportunities and how some of the techniques that we use to be able to identify some of the strongest trends to consider trading. So if you'd like to join us on this webinar, all you need to do is to come to the TradeStation International website. You can come to the webinars tab, and then you can register, fill in your details here and register to join the session free of charge. So we look forward to seeing you on the webinar, and hope you find it useful, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.